Hi everyone, I'm Jess Pickford. I know many of you will know me and some of you won't. I live in Spain, in Malaga, with my husband Andrew and our three lovely children. We're overseas workers sent from Frontline. We love Frontline and we miss you all. So it's a real blessing for me today to be able to do the Moravian Text Bible study for Thursday, the 30th of April. And it's on Mark 7:24 to 37. And I just love this story. It's about the Syrophoenician woman and how Jesus honours her for her faith. So Jesus has just gone to the area of Tyre and he's trying to get a bit of alone time. I'm trying to get a bit of alone time at the moment. It's quite intense in my house in lockdown. So he's trying to get some of that. But news travels that he is there, and this woman goes to him. She falls down at his feet and she begs him to heal her daughter who has an evil spirit. Now, Jesus' response initially may not be what some of us were expecting. This is what he says in verse 27. First, let the children eat all they want, for it is not right to take the children's bread and toss it to the dogs. Now, we don't know what Jesus' voice tone was like then, but it's not quite the words perhaps that we would expect. And I don't know about you, but sometimes when I hear Jesus say something to me that I don't like or I don't expect, I can sometimes just kind of shut down and not really say anything back and just kind of take it and then just stay a bit confused and a bit perplexed. But this is not what the woman did. She knew something about Jesus's character, even though she was not Jewish, because this is what Jesus was suggesting here, what he was alluding to. He was basically saying, I have not yet come, my time has not yet come for the non-Jewish people. You know, I am here for the Jews at the moment. He doesn't say, I'm not coming for you. He says, first let the children eat all they want. But this woman, even though she's not a Jew, she responds with Lord. And I love that. She knew who Jesus was. She says, Lord, in verse 28, even the dogs under the table eat the children's crumbs. And with that, Jesus responds to her, because of your reply, go, the demon has left your daughter. Now that is the Jesus that I am expecting to hear more. And it's just so beautiful to me that this woman knows that all she needs from Jesus to see a major miracle are crumbs. You know, our God is the God of the overflow. And I really felt like God wanted to speak to us today about how he is the God of abundance. He is the God of the overflow. And at the moment, it may seem that many of us are just living off crumbs. I don't know about you, but my life at the moment is much more intense than it normally is. My kids aren't at school anymore, obviously. There's homeschooling. We've only just, in this last week, been allowed to go out, one parent with the kids, to get a bit of exercise. It's been very intense. I'm sure for a lot of you, you're experiencing a similar thing. And I feel like all I have to give Jesus at the moment are my breadcrumbs. And all I'm getting back from him is breadcrumbs. And I can feel bad about that. I sometimes know internally, although I know it's not true here, I withdraw a bit because I feel like, oh, how's Jesus going to respond to me? Because I feel like I'm not prioritizing him enough. All I have for him is breadcrumbs. And so that's all I'm getting back from him. But I felt like Jesus is wanting us to be this Syrophoenician woman. He wants us to know his breadcrumbs, the very edge of his overflow, are more than enough for us at the moment. He understands the situations that we're in. This is an extraordinary situation. He doesn't expect you to be giving any more than you are able to at the moment. And that is more than enough for him and for us right now. And it just reminded me of the story of the woman with the issue of blood in Luke 8:43 to 48, where all she had to do was touch the edge of Jesus's cloak and she was healed of this issue of blood that she'd had for 12 years where no one could help her. She just touched the very edge and she received a major miracle. And also it reminded me too of the woman, the widow's offering in Mark 12:41 to 44. She just put in a few little pennies, but Jesus called over the disciples and said, look, this woman has given more than anyone else. And God wants you to know that what you have to give at the moment is more than enough for him. And it may be that you are spending lots of time with God. I know a lot of people on the other end of the spectrum of me at the moment, that they have lots of time perhaps to be with God and to rest and to reflect, but that you're just not got time with other people. You've had weeks with hardly any contact with anyone else, or maybe you've got Zoom fatigue, or maybe, you're just feeling alone. And I feel like God wants to say he knows the area of your life where there are breadcrumbs at the moment. And he wants to make that more than enough for you right now. Because if this Syrophoenician woman knew the power of every single breadcrumb that came from God, And if from people at the moment all you're getting is breadcrumbs, God wants to make that more than enough for you. But like this Syrophoenician woman, we need to keep the conversation going with God when it feels awkward, when it feels uncomfortable, when we don't get it. Respond to Jesus. Keep the conversation going. This is a hard time. For some of us, it's a wonderful time, but it's very different to what we're used to. We're having to use different muscles to what we're used to. And it will end. It will come to an end. But God is in the breadcrumbs, and he wants us to keep that conversation going with him today. So bless you. As I said, we miss you. We love you, Frontline. And I hope you know the power and beauty and miracles and love of God, even in the breadcrumbs in this season.